It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast. Yes, as we follow the highs and the lows of the Australian property market, sometimes it does feel like we are surfing the market, not navigating it. I can't surf anyway, and with all of these shark attacks, forget it. Another weekend is approaching. Inspections, auctions, open homes, and maybe you're trying to work out a property value in your market that has come down and you want to maybe even counter the offer. You can send us any voice message using the link below. Of course, if you'd like to sound off about real estate or whatever is on your mind, we'd love to hear from you. Or you can email us, myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. Yes, a Friday, July the 24th. If you're celebrating a year older, Bindi Irwin, she is celebrating with you. She's turning 28. Jennifer Lopez, 57, and the actor Elizabeth Moss is turning 44. Now, despite softer capital city conditions, many regional markets, and we're going to take you to one of those regional markets in just a moment, are continuing to record annual price growth. PropTrack data shows that house prices increased across 85% of Australian suburbs during the past 12 months, while unit prices increased in 90% of suburbs around the country. So let's go to one of those regional markets, and that is into Queensland, the sunny Fraser Coast. Scott Mitchell is here from Mitchell's Realty. Just down the road, isn't it? The Australian Zoo, Bindi Irwin blowing out 28 candles today.
Yeah, that's fantastic, actually. I don't think anyone would not enjoy going to Australia Zoo. I actually have not been there, Craig, but my wife, grandkids, family, everyone else that's visited Hervey Bay, ultimately, is one of the things you want to do when you come to Queensland is go and visit the Australia Zoo.
Well, actually, I'm with you, considering I used to live on the Gold Coast. Have not been either, so maybe we can take that in together at some point. Now, buyers appear to be taking more time before making a decision when it comes to buying property. What are you seeing at the moment, and how would you describe the current Hervey Bay market?
The last couple of months, we've been in a bit of a holding pattern, pause. We're seeing the Hervey Bay market transition from the frenzied conditions that we've experienced over the last few years into what I describe most likely a more healthier and certainly a more balanced market at the moment. Quality homes that are well presented and priced appropriately are still selling well. Buyers are no longer feeling that pressure to make the decision within hours because the competition just hasn't been there. So there's more opportunity to conduct their own due diligence. They're comparing other properties to make their informed decisions. On the flip side of that, like the seller's perspective, it's not necessarily a negative. Well-marketed homes continue to attract strong inquiry, but buyers are becoming more selective. Pricing, presentation, and professional marketing have never been more important in the current market, unquestionably.
Yes, and that is set to continue for the foreseeable future at the moment in terms of having more time on your side if you are buying property. Now, interstate migration, we've talked a lot about that in your area because it has fueled Hervey Bay's growth in recent years. But buyers now, as we've mentioned, have more choice than they did during the peak. What a welcome shift that is. How is the trend changing the market, though, at the moment, particularly for first-home buyers and local owner-occupiers?
Throughout the previous boom years, really since COVID, the interstate migration into Hervey Bay has created enormous demand. And with many of those buyers relocating out of the capital cities in Sydney, Melbourne, but along with, we've discussed this in the past, southeast Queensland, they're coming to seek a more affordable coastal lifestyle. But that demand still remains today, and we're seeing more properties becoming available, giving those buyers greater choice with a little bit less competition than we saw, say, 3 months ago. For first home buyers, which we don't don't see a lot of. That is encouraging because most of the incentives are always driven towards those new builds, and they're facing, again, less competition from investors, I'll say, because that's probably some of the biggest changes that have been made throughout the budget. And during the peak of the market, they would have been in strong competition with investors, whereas now we're certainly going to see a lot less investors. So first home buyers looking to purchase with the incentives a new home, this is the time to do it, unquestionably.
Yeah, the sustainable phase, I think that's what you can call the market at the moment, particularly in the regionals, is what you're going through. The other side of it is the confidence in the market. Is the confidence, do you think, is going to be a long-term outlook, or do you see some wobbles coming in?
Yeah, look, while the affordability remains challenging, I don't deny, across Australia, Hervey Bay continues to represent excellent value compared to many of our coastal regions, making it an attractive option for both owner-occupiers and first-home buyers alike.
Yes, and the listing price right now, very, very important. In fact, you could say it is critical to price your property correctly, because pricing strategy in achieving a successful sale in the current market is happening pretty much right across the board.
Yeah, look, Craig, I'd say that that's one of the most important factors determining a successful sale, and more in the current market possibly than 3 months ago. Today's buyers are extremely well informed, and they have access to rental sales data, online property information and performance. They can compare listings, so they can quickly recognise when a property has been priced above market expectations. And it really is. It's the first few weeks of a marketing campaign are often when a property receives the greatest level of attention. If a home enters the market overpriced, it can lose momentum and become stale, as for want of a better word, which often results in a price reduction later on, which never looks good, and some buyers will question, what is wrong with that property. But properties that are priced realistically from day one and well marketed are generally going to always attract stronger buyer inquiry, more inspections, and ultimately better competition between buyers.
We are talking to Scott. He is on the Fraser Coast there in Hervey Bay. We are back in just a moment.
Every morning from 6 a.m. across Australia, we deliver you the latest property news, commentary and predictions from Perth to Cairns and from Melbourne to Brisbane. Unravel the real estate market to help guide your real estate journey.
And Yerwin, this is very much currently one of the most sought-after suburbs in Hervey Bay at the moment. Why is Yerwin popular? Well, it is due to its proximity to hospitals, Stockland Shopping Centre, that's a big one, schools and those newer residential developments. And the median house price in Yerwin is $820,000 at the moment, and the median unit price is $575K. It is a Real Estate Friday. Scott is with us. We are in Hervey Bay, talking all things real estate there on a regional basis. Now, buyer confidence, which I've mentioned, it is a big talking point. Softer markets can create opportunities, and then on the other end, you have the unknown global events, especially with the interest rate environment. Could Australia's ongoing housing shortage see competition, do you think, strengthen again over the next 12 months?
My crystal ball is telling me that once this doom and gloom media moves on to another topic, the national housing market, not just Hervey Bay, we're still underpinned by undersupply. And Hervey Bay is unquestionably still going through a full-on boom phase. We've recently seen our lowest employment figures in our history at the moment across Hervey Bay. It was just announced this week. The opportunity for jobs in Hervey Bay is at a record low. Anyone that's driven around Hervey Bay in the last couple of months, just to see the amount of construction, housing developments, there's some amazing projects powering ahead, backed with proper infrastructure to go with these projects. From next month, I've been telling some sellers recently, we need to get you professionally marketed and on the market now, because the people will just move on. This has really just been a lull purely based on consumer confidence. That's the only thing that is holding our markets back, or has held our markets back for the last couple of months. And I think we're going to see that go back to some form of normality, probably in leaps and bounds from next month, is my forecast and prediction there, Craig.
Yes, just picking up on the Fraser Coast unemployment rate, because as you say, it has fallen to that record low of 4.5% as the region continues to build its economic momentum. I mean, that is going to be great for the real estate industry. So many people are going into the area. They are picking up these jobs, and it is fueling into the building which is taking place. I just want to come back to this particular suburb that I highlighted, this Yerwin. There are many popular suburbs of Hervey Bay. Give us a couple of others. One of my favourites, I have to say, is Torquay, because you're right there on the beach. But throw us another couple of suburbs in Hervey Bay.
Yerwin has been so popular, and why you're seeing that increase in transactions, we'll call it, is because of all the new estates that are going into that suburb specific. But there's phenomenal growth going into the northern corridor. So from Yerwin, you go out through Eli Waters, and Eli Waters is going to be developed, if anyone knows the lay of the land, all the way through to Darwin Beach. All of that area is going to see significant population growth off the back of all the new housing. But for the 20 years I've been doing real estate now, it's really been Urangan and Point Vernon are the two most searched suburbs. And if you check the data again today with realestate.com.au or Domain, I'm pretty confident you'll see that the two most searched suburbs, or in the top three, will always be Point Vernon and Urangan. And the reality is, look, from Urangan to Eli Waters will take you 15 minutes. So None of these suburbs are far apart, and it's not too hard to get into our CBD.
Now, that Point Vernon, isn't that kind of sort of all self-contained in a corner of Hervey Bay? It's kind of exclusive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, certainly. And Point Vernon, particularly at the pointy part of it, the pointy end of it, is Gattaca's Bay. Gattaca's Bay is beautiful. You've got a pretty exclusive esplanade strip that runs from Gattaca's Bay around to what we call Courses Street, and it's referred to as Sunset Point because it's unique. Hervey Bay faces due north. It's the only due north-facing bay on the east coast, which people may not be aware of that. But when you scoot out there onto the pointy part of Point Vernon, you can actually sit at Sunset Point on an esplanade looking across the water towards Darwin Beach and Craignish, and with a high tide there's not too many places on the east coast you get to actually watch the sun go down across the water. It does make it unique. It's just another beautiful part of Hervey Bay, mate.
All right, lots of beautiful spots in Hervey Bay. Good on you, Scott. Enjoy your Friday, enjoy the weekend coming up. We'll touch base in a few weeks' time just in terms of what happens between now and then. And thanks for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast.
No, it's always a pleasure, Craig. It's great to catch up. And yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's watch the data going forward. I'm sure it'll be of interest to many.
Every morning from 6 a.m, we bring you the latest real estate news with diverse perspectives from leading industry experts. We deliver the most property podcasts across Australia every week.
So New South Wales is moving towards a position at the moment where their Productivity Commission have released a report with recommendations on the impact of removing commissions.
The speed of offers, how quickly offers are being made.
Some of these markets do have a higher concentration of investor activity.
Some houses that have particularly poor yield might have fantastic capital growth because of the land value.
So even domestically, inflation was becoming a concern again.
Brighton, there was a record set on the Esplanade for over $6.5 million.
I think that's where the best capital growth outcomes will be over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Every episode brings you the latest property news, market trends, expert interviews, and practical insights for buyers, sellers, investors, homeowners, and industry professionals.
Still with the same bank that they opened a bank account with in primary school, they're not giving you the best rate. They're not looking after you.
You know, Craig, it's a biggest surprise to me that I would have thought that being a war correspondent and being a real estate broker in Dubai, suddenly those talents would somehow, run in parallel and complement one another because, I actually had missiles and drones exploding overhead when I was in Dubai, and I thought I got away from all this.
Ready to take your real estate knowledge to the next level? So are we. We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.